Ukraine says it is unwilling to compromise in response to claims by Trump.
Here's a summary of the article.
A senior Ukrainian official has said that his country is unwilling to compromise with Russia or cede any territory to halt the ongoing conflict, in response to recent remarks by U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, commented during a visit to Washington that while Kyiv wants a just peace, certain fundamental values such as independence, freedom, democracy, territorial integrity, and sovereignty are non-negotiable. Yermak's visit came in the run-up to a July 9-11 NATO summit in Washington, where Ukraine is expected to be a central topic. Reports indicated Trump's advisors had proposed a strategy involving the threat of cutting U.S. aid unless Kyiv entered into negotiations with Moscow. Finnish President Alexander Stubb also suggested that the war could be ended in swift fashion. In an interview with the Bloomberg news agency, Stubb said that Moscow's dependence on China had reached a level where Beijing could use its influence to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is now very dependent on China, Stubb said.
This post received a score of 11,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Greater than certain fundamental values such as independence, freedom, democracy, territorial integrity, and sovereignty are non-negotiable. Exactly as it should be.
Russia already made that deal in 1991. I guess someone on Russia's side had their fingers crossed behind their backs.
Can you imagine if Russia started a ground invasion on the US and people elsewhere in the world were like, maybe you guys should just compromise and let them have the West Coast?
I get not liking war, nobody does, but it's pretty wild seeing some of these takes. Why are you such a warmonger? Just let them genocide 30% of your country and surrender all sovereignty.
Trump already setting up the stage to help Russia win the war if he is elected. Republicans never stopped helping Russia.
Better dead than red has never rung truer.
I grew up in the days when red-blooded Americans wore t-shirts that said, "Kill a commie for mommy." Now this same Americans have become members of a treasonous cult. So sad to see this once great country fall so hard for Russian propaganda.
Rambo 3 was dedicated to the brave Afghan Mujahideen fighting the Soviets.
Is this not, at best, skirting a violation of the Logan Act? Not that anyone has ever really given a shit about that. Looking at you Nixon prolonging the Vietnam War or Reagan making deals about hostages in Iran.
For the first time since 2013, New Jersey residents are being treated to the city's biggest fireworks celebration this July 4th. The 10,000 free tickets Mayor Eric Adams was offering have all been claimed, but a number of venues from the High Line to Hudson Yards are selling fancy $100 plus tickets to their rooftop parties and viewing points. There are still plenty of places to take in the great views for free, no tickets required.
Europe needs to be ready if Trump gets elected. We have to be able to protect our own interests.
Yes, I fear that European isn't doing enough to be ready to pick up the slack after the US election. Nor have the balls to stand up to pressure from the US to help the Russian dictator.
I think you'd find a lot of European nations more than keen to meet Russian aggression head-on. The problem will come from the lack of a united front, which NATO and American leadership currently provides. Each nation would have different plans and levels of motivation for involvement. Something the Russians would immediately try to exploit.
I fumbled a word. I'm sure Europeans are keen. I meant to write European leaders.
I would love to see more world leaders call out Trump's bullshit leading up to the election. His rhetoric on how he believes world leaders respected him during his administration and now they laugh at Biden is so pathetic. He was the laughingstock of the world during his term and his narcissism can't handle it.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.